my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems.
We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories.
Of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
With nearly 100-degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Daily O. I'm Carney Porter. For our local story tonight, the Stillwater City Council approved specific use permits for Homestead Harvest, a medicinal marijuana dispensary in downtown Stillwater, and Cyborg Farms, an indoor growing facility near Stillwater Regional Airport. The Stillwater Planning Commission recommended that the City Council approve both applications. The growing facility will be the first approved within the Stillwater city limits, but another application is pending. And dozens of people affiliated with prestigious American universities face extortion charges over allegedly cheating on ACT and SAT tests and bribing college coaches. According to an indictment in the U.S. District Court in Massachusetts, the purpose of the alleged scam was to help student athletes get into college, regardless of their athletic ability, according to the indictment. Of the defendants, several are employed as sports coaches or administrators at the University of Southern California and Yale and Wake Forest universities. The indictment accuses defendants of committing crimes between 2011 and 2019. And as Venezuela suffers from its political unrest, it's also struggling with its electrical grid, with residents suffering through 4 days of blackouts. The lack of power has forced citizens to visit a polluted river in the nation's capital to fill bottles of water, while long lines formed at gas stations. The Guardian reports opposition leaders in the country say at least 21 people have died because of the blackouts. And if you're in the mood for pancakes, you're in luck. IHOP will be giving away pancakes for free Pancake Day today. The event will take place from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at IHOP across the country. Guests can visit the restaurant to order up a free short stack of original buttermilk pancakes while supplies last. The deal is dine-in only. And coming up, all the latest trends you need to know on what's trending, and an exclusive interview with Mr. and Mrs. Hispanic OSU. We'll be right back after the break.
my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems.
We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories.
Of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
With nearly 100-degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Hey everyone, here's what's trending. Beyonce and Jay-Z are getting a big thank you from the LGBTQ community. On Monday, the GLAAD Media Advocacy Organization announced the power couple will be honored at the organization's awards ceremony this month. The Carters are scheduled to get GLAAD's Vanguard Award. That shines a light on people who made a significant difference in promoting acceptance of LGBTQ people. Among those who received the award before, Cher, Britney Spears, Janet Jackson, and Jennifer Lopez. GLAAD President and CEO Sarah Kate Ellis released a statement saying, Beyonce and Jay-Z are global icons and passionate defenders of human rights and acceptance for all people. And a man struggling to get his life together has less to worry about thanks to Kim Kardashian West. The reality TV star is paying 5 years' worth of rent for Matthew Charles. Americans met Charles during President Trump's State of the Union address last month. The president highlighted him as a benefactor of the First Step Act, a new law that allows judges to release inmates convicted of nonviolent drug charges. Shortly after his release from prison, Charles secured a job, but he says his 20 years behind bars is making it difficult to find a landlord in Nashville who will rent to him. Kardashian West read about his problem in a newspaper and agreed to pay his rent for the next 5 years. Charles hopes to find a home by the end of this week. He says her gift will enable him to save money he hopes to use as a down payment on a house. And that's what's trending. Studio with us, we have Mr. and Mrs. Hispanic OSU, Michelle Fierro and Valentin Brito. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, explain to us what your experience in the pageant was like and how it maybe varies or is different from other pageants.
So, personally, I've never done a pageant before. I saw it as like the stereotypical pageant. However, it's really different. The way we run things is we're able to choose our platform, so something we want to impact within our community. And then from there, we do our cultural wear. So there's a lot of different Hispanic ethnicities. So we'll all represent typical wear from our from where we're from. And then after that, we'll have like it's brand new. They did it last year. They'll add in a talent segment. So it's kind of different. It was a little hard, especially like, I don't know, I'm not very talent inclined, but it was really cool to see. And then at the end, we have an evening gown segment where like we walk around the stage and then like kind of just talk about it.
And I know you said there was a talent portion, so can you tell us what your talents were in the pageant?
Yeah, so I was kind of nervous for my talent, but my talent was I'm also play soccer for the club here at OSU. So I've been playing soccer my whole life. So one thing I like to do in my free time is I like to freestyle and do like soccer tricks. Wow. So what I did for my talent was I did a little bit of soccer tricks, but I also did some dancing and also did some Venezuelan dancing too, because I'm from Venezuela.
Wow, what a variety in like one whole performance. Yeah. That sounds awesome. And what was your talent?
So mine was, I did jump roping. So when I was little, I did jump rope for heart, and I like always liked jump roping. So I did that, and then I like added in a little like dance to a K-pop song because I'm like really into K-pop too. So
that's why it gives it a little flavor, a little mix.
Yeah.
It's something different. It stands out. I like that. I can appreciate that for sure. And what does it mean for you both to hold the position as Mr. and Mrs. Hispanic OSU?
I'd say for me, it definitely means a lot. Just coming from, we both come from low-income, minority-majority communities, and we come from dropout factories of high schools, and it means a lot for us, and to just come out of those communities and represent the Hispanics here at OSU. And personally speaking, I'm the first South American to run for Mr. Hispanic Latino OSU, and it's just been a lot for me to bring light to not only my platform, but Venezuela. Going through what they go through right now, Venezuela's going through a lot of issues, and it's just nice to be able to show to the Stillwater community in Oklahoma what Venezuela is truly about.
That's so nice, so sweet. And what's it mean for you?
Basically, in a nutshell, like what Valentin said, it's really important for me just like in order, like I'm one of the few people who ended up going to college out of my community, and for me, I've like always had that on my shoulders. Like I want to be an example for students at my old high school, and I really want them to see like no matter what your situation is, like there's always a way out, and there's always a positive way out. So that's one of the things that like really I love about like being able to be Mrs. Hispanic.
Now, is there any events coming up soon that the Stillwater community and OSU students can find you guys in and celebrate?
Not soon. Our reign doesn't start officially until June. However, we're going to be working pretty soon on like reaching out to our old high schools, speaking to them, just so that they're aware that we're representing them and that we really care for them and that we want to give back to them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And what high school did y'all attend?
I graduated from U.S. Grant High School.
In what city is that?
In Oklahoma City.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a Texas girl, so I'm like, I don't know where anything is here. So it's always nice to learn some new areas. And what high school did you go to?
I went to Midwest City High School.
I know where that is.
Yeah.
So I got one going for us. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And coming up, the Daily Sports Calendar with Brendan Collins will deliver the latest in sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems.
We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories.
Of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
With nearly 100 degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Brendan Collins. The Oklahoma State wrestling team entered the Big 12 championship this past weekend, hoping to score its 7th consecutive conference title. As expected, the Cowboys' dominance continues for another year, but not everyone had a chance to celebrate it.
State wrestling team claimed 6 individual titles as the Cowboys closed out their 7th consecutive Big 12 title. OSU's 2019 Big 12 champions include Nick Piccinini, Dayton Fix, Caden Gefeller, Jacob Smith, Preston Weigel, and Derek White. With 7 wrestlers making the final, OSU clinched the title with 1 session to spare, but the Cowboys were determined to put on a show. Piccinini started the night with a 2-0 decision victory against Brent Fleetwood of North Dakota State. This victory improves Piccinini to 30-0 this season. 2 freshmen, Fix and Gefeller, won the next 2 individual titles at 133 and 149. The Cowboys closed out the show with 3 titles from the seniors, courtesy of Jacob Smith, Preston Weigel, and Derek White. Cade Brock was the other OSU finalist, but he was pinned by Dom DeMoss of Oklahoma early in the first period. OSU finished with 150 team points, opening a 43.5-point lead over the field. But it was a difficult day for head coach John Smith, whose father, Leroy Smith Sr., passed away during the event.
Tough day.
We can't hear it.
My father passed away about 9 o'clock tonight, so yeah, so it's been a tough weekend. But the last thing he asked was when he could speak was he was concerned about the Big 12 tournament. So he got to come here the last couple of years and really enjoyed it. And I got a picture of him. Somebody sent me a picture where he was up in the stands and he started the OSU with his cowboy hat on. But he was 85 years old. What a great run, great father of 10. Has about 50 grandchildren, about 15 great-grandchildren. So lucky to have a father that cared. So.
This is OSU's 53rd Big 12 title as the Cowboys are looking to redeem themselves in the national championship on March 23rd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For the Daily O, I'm David Moore.
Thanks, David. On Saturday, we also saw the final action at Gallagher-Iba Arena this season. The Oklahoma State men's basketball team played the regular season finale against West Virginia. We sent our reporter Cameron Blum to Gallagher-Iba for this match.
Virginia University Mountaineers came down to Stillwater to play for, well, pride. The teams were tied for last place in the Big 12 and fighting to avoid staying in last place. The Cowboys came off of a great win against Baylor on Wednesday and were looking to stay winning on senior night going into tournament season. Cameron McGriff had 14 total points, 11 of which came inside of the paint. McGriff was a dominant force on offense. While the rest of the team is mainly relying on speed, he is using his brute strength to make West Virginia cover him on the inside to free up the outside shots. Lindy Waters took the offensive game plan and put it in overdrive. At the start of the game, OSU was fast-paced to try and surprise West Virginia to put points on the board early. Waters had 19 total points and was 60% on three-pointers that night. While McGriff was drawing the defense inside to stop him, they left Waters open to make his shots. While Waters and McGriff were scoring all game, Yorane was stopping West Virginia from scoring, with 8 blocks along with a sweet 16 points. The Cowboys ended up taking the win at home on senior night, 85-77. After the game was over, head coach Mike Boynton made an announcement to the fans. He thanked all the fans for coming to all the games and supporting the team through the tough season. He also said that he knows the wins were not up to par this season, and he wants to hang a banner in Gallagher-Iba Arena sometime soon. When I asked Waters what he thought of the head coach's speech, he just said one thing: next year.
Thanks, Cameron. With this victory, the Cowboys leaped past West Virginia to finish 9th in the Big 12 regular season. The Pokes will square off against TCU in the first round of the Big 12 championship. The Cowboys and Horned Frogs split wins during the regular season as each team won their home game. The match will tip off at 6 p.m. tomorrow and air on ESPNU. It had been a tough season on and off the court for head coach Mike Boynton and his players, but a couple of Cowboys shined through the difficulties. The conference announced on Sunday that OSU captains Lindy Waters and Cameron McGriff received all Big 12 honorable mentions. Waters is third in the Big 12 with a three-point percentage of 45 and second in the conference with a 91% free throw percentage. McGriff leads OSU scoring with 12.4 points per game and 7 rebounds per game. This is first collegiate individual award for Waters and McGriff with the Cowboys. Also, Yor Ane was named Newcomer of the Week after a terrific performance under the rim. The freshman had 6 blocks in OSU's win against Baylor and 8 in the regular season finale against West Virginia. Ane's 8th block also set a Cowboy freshman record, and he ended the season with the leading league in blocks with 78. Moving to the NFL, the 2019 free agency signings are underway, and there have been some big moves. Antonio Brown has found a new home with the Oakland Raiders after a trade with the Steelers. Brown had voiced his displeasure with the Steelers on social media and was looking for new scenery. In return for Brown, the Steelers received a 3rd and 5th round pick. Super Bowl 52 MVP Nick Foles will be leaving the Philadelphia Eagles and heading south to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Foles is expected to sign a 4-year, $88 million deal with his new team, longtime Cowboy Cole Beasley agreeing to a 4-year, $29 million deal with the Buffalo Bills. Deshaun Jackson will return to the Philadelphia Eagles from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Indianapolis Colts have signed former Carolina Panther receiver Devin Funchess to a 1-year, $13 million deal. Moving from business to brawl, fists were flying last night in Cleveland when the Toronto Raptors visited the Cleveland Cavaliers. Serge Ibaka of the Raptors decided enough was enough and exchanged blows with Marquise Chris. 1 second before the end of the 3rd quarter, Ibaka grabbed Chris by the neck and began swinging. Chris threw a punch in response. Both players were ejected from the game, and fines and suspensions will most likely be dished out to both players. This was not Ibaka's first fight. In March 2017, he fought Robin Lopez, and in January 2018, he got into another fight with James Johnson. Ibaka seemed to be the only Raptor to show any fight as the Cavaliers went on to win 126 to 101. That's all for sports. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Connie will wrap up the show. Coming up, we'll have a look at our weekly forecast and a recap of our news.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems.
We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories.
of the past,
of the present,
and work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation, some dirt under the fingernails,
and some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
with nearly 100-degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Welcome back. And now a recap of our top stories. The Stillwater City Council approved specific use permits for Homestead Harvest, a medicinal marijuana dispensary, and Cyborg Farms, an indoor medicinal marijuana growing facility. The Stillwater Planning Commission recommended that the City Council approve both applications. And dozens of people affiliated with prestigious American universities face extortion charges over allegedly cheating on ACT and SAT tests and bribing college coaches. According to an indictment in U.S. District Court in Massachusetts, the purpose of the alleged scam was to help student athletes get into college, regardless of their athletic ability. And power outages across Venezuela has killed 21 people during a 4-day blackout. As the country suffers from its political unrest, residents are suffering through the lack of power and has forced citizens to visit a polluted river at the nation's capital to fill bottles of water. And here's a look at our weekly forecast. For tomorrow, we have a low of 42 degrees and a high of 65, and it looks like we might have a chance of rain. On Thursday, it'll be on the cloudy side with a low of 32 and a high of 48. And for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're looking at sunny skies with Friday's low of 29 and a high of 51, and Saturday and Sunday with lows of 37 and the highs in the mid-50s and 60s. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching the Daily O. And remember, we'll be right back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'm Carney Porter. Thanks for watching.